Yo boys, what's up? Today I'm just going to be dropping some game on something that I've really never ever once seen someone actually drop game on that was genuinely good. Like I see people talk about all these things in self-help and masculinity, blah blah blah, but no one ever describes exactly how to get out of a rut. And that's partly because of how difficult it is, but at the same time, I do really think there's a potential there to figure out a way and a process and a systematic thing for how to genuinely cut the bullshit. You're in a rut, you're down bad, blah 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 blah. And if you can relate to this, I'm sure you might be able to if you've clicked on the video. Just when you feel that your energy is really off and you're not really doing the things that you want to be. So when I do get into these sort of these negative flows, etc., the first thing that I'm ever going to do is reassess where I'm at physiologically. And by physiological, I mean, what is my actually body going to elicit? Because you can look at your behavior and sort of circumnavigate intuitively. Am I on screens too much? What's my diet looking like? How much sunlight am I getting? How much, of all these things am I getting? How are my relationships at the moment? How much am I socializing? All these things. And you can do a temperature check and you go A through Z, what are things looking like? And 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee if you can lock all those things in, you're going to be fucking halfway there. Beyond that, the second thing that you have to look at is your mission or your routine, pretty much. Because when you slip out of your routine, you're going to feel shit. And when you feel shit, you're going to slip out of your routine. And it becomes a sort of paradoxical thing where either one can fuck each other up. So basically, what you need to do is, number one, you get all those things physiologically down pat. Number two, you need to reassess your routine. So are there a couple of things that you need to do every day that are going to move you forward in your life? So once you get that list, you can say, okay, every day I'm going to make a YouTube video, which is literally the reason that I'm making one right now, instead of just going to bed because 9 p.m. and I don't really want to be doing this. Number two, do I need to fucking gym? Do I need a cardio? Do I need to go to the sauna? Do I need to read 10 pages of a book? Do I need to send some outreach messages for my new business? Do I need to set up some ad creators for my fucking e-com store? All these things. So you're going to have a list of things that literally move the needle every single day. So once you've got your physiological side down, you need to get that. It's sort of a spiritual thing where you need to have this structure around your life that you commit to. Because especially if you're outside of school and you're just in your life as an adult, you really need to just give yourself an infrastructure. And even if you are in school, you also need to feel like you're progressing outside of, just your fucking grades and shit to feel like you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. Because I'm assuming if you're in school and you're watching this video, you've got to be fairly ambitious. You've got to be wanting to do things that are greater than fucking getting a B+ on your test. Another thing that can really be contributing to sort of being in a rut is if you're moving in a direction that you don't want to necessarily be moving in. So when this happens and I feel like what I'm doing isn't necessarily congruent with where I want to be going in life, I need to reassess what that is. So I'll literally get a journal. I'm like, okay, what is it that I want? Like literally at the top of the page, right? What do I want? Then go, okay, I want this. Like, okay, why? And then what do I want that for? Okay, why? So it might be, I want to live on the beach. I want to have a fucking convertible. I want to have a good family, blah, 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 blah. And like, okay, why? Blah, 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 blah. I need this. So I need this amount of money to do that. Okay, why do I want to do that? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? And essentially what you're going to boil it down to 9 times out of 10, if you go far enough, you either want to pretty much compensate for an insecurity. You want to compensate for an insecurity. You want to be a good father and you want to have no fear. And you also want to sort of self-actualize. So they're generally, with the things just off the top of my head, they're the things that are going to be important to you. So it's like, okay, what's the timeline for all of those things? It's often much further than what you would ever think. It's much, much further. So you need to zoom out, number one. Number two, you need to reassess your trajectory and play a longer term game. Because if you're looking at fucking you're in uni, you're in school, or you're doing whatever you may be doing, you may be in a 9 to 5, that's not a long-term game. That is a short-term game. Because what you're doing when you're doing those things is pandering to what everyone else wants, that is a short-term dopamine hit. That's a short-term good feeling that's occurring. When you're in a 9 to 5, you're in this safe spot. So that's very short-term minded. The long-term game is taking shots at things that you really want, i.e. a business with location freedom, a business that's going to give you financial freedom, building skills that are going to be able to make you have a business that's going to give you that freedom. That is the real long-term game, because that's something that is going to suggest that you're going to be on the right path indefinitely, because you can always go back to a 9 to 5. You can always go back to school. You can always go back into that safe spot when you need to. You can always fucking DoorDash for money if you're that desperate for cash. I've done it. I've DoorDashed. Absolutely. But the thing is, there's this mindset that the risky thing is to be trying to run a business, or trying to take this crazy shot, trying to take this ridiculously scary attempt at a long-term game that's going to give you all these things that you actually truly want. All these things, because we assess that these are all the things that you truly want. This is given that those are the things you want, which I'm assuming that it fucking is, and that's accurate. But the problem fucking arises where there's that discrepancy, because I cannot fathom even having that thought process, because to me it makes no sense. It makes zero sense to think that the safe option is trying really hard to get something that you don't actually really want. And that is what can fucking be a surefire way to catapult yourself into a rut. Literally, there's one way to catapult yourself into a rut, and that's to be fucking trying your ass off and stressing your ass off in pursuit of something that's not even going to provide the thing that you really, really want in life. So all of a sudden, we can cover off these couple of things, and you're covering all of them off. They're literally covered off. It's like, okay, how can I be in a rut at the end of that? How can I? And then if you get to the end of that and you're in a rut, do it again. Reassess. Physiologically, where am I at? Spiritually, where am I at? Where's my mission? Where's my routine? And then after that, think about your trajectory. Are my actions actually my actions congruent with where I say that I want to go in life? Because if you aren't congruent with where you want to go in life, and you really, really try and you're continually doing that and you're not getting it and you can't do it, I guarantee you're faking it. You don't really want that. All these high, lofty goals, you don't necessarily want. So maybe that's something where you say, maybe I just need my 60, 80K a year, and then I can focus on being a good father. Maybe I don't really have that high of an ambition, and that's fine. I'm not down on that at all. But maybe you need to just reassess your priorities and your values, which we also talked about at the start. So when it comes down to what do I want, you have to be very, very honest with yourself, because when there's a point where you're not honest with yourself and you send yourself in the wrong direction, then you fucking self-cuck as well. Because who are you cheating at the end of the day? I think one of the main messages of my content as a whole is giving you the framework to go inward with yourself, be super fucking honest with yourself, and determine, who do I want to be as a man? Because that's what all this rut stuff comes down to. It's a lack of clarity and it's a lack of congruency. And the clarity can be fucking completely blurred if you're actually lying to yourself, which is one of the most powerful things on this earth, because you can be deceived by anyone, but it's much easier to deceive yourself. So I'd encourage you, first thing that you do when you finish this video, right at the top of the page, what do I want? Be really honest. Go down. Why? Then after that, say, how do I get it? What do I need to do to get that? Let's say I want 500K a year, 3 kids, a nice house. What do I need to do to get 500K a year? Okay, cool. I need to do all this shit. How can I get it faster? Because when you do that, all of a sudden your life is really broken down. It's like, oh fuck, this is literally the only thing that matters. What else actually matters apart from this one goal I've written down is the number one thing that I want in life? Because when you do that, all of a sudden the partying, the fucking drugs, the alcohol, the smoking, whatever you may be doing, that sort of fades away in terms of its pertinence, its importance to you. And it's much, much easier to stick to this routine that you also made. And then you're also feeling good because your physiological side's locked in. So all of a sudden you're getting this fucking revolution thing where you basically create yourself a spinning flywheel that's going to send you the fuck up. Because you're clear, you know what to do, you've got your fucking action plan, you've got your routine, you've got your values aligned. Everything is in place for you to fucking attack. So if you do all that shit and you're still in a rut, fucking DM me and I'll help you. Because at that point it's like, fuck, if there's something going on, there's like a psychological block. Which is also, it's also very possible that you may just be having a shit time. And sometimes you just need to fucking eat that, steer into it, and do some fucking soul searching, try and figure out why, and then attack from there. Because that is a real thing. That's a very real thing. I've been in those ruts where it's like, fuck, I feel like I can't do anything. Hopefully this video gives you a bit of a framework, a bit of like something just like, I can just do this and then assess. I can do that and then assess. Because when you're in a rut, obviously, like I've searched on YouTube many a times, being like, fuck, where do I go when I'm in a rut? What do I actually do? But if it genuinely is a psychological issue, I'm going to make another couple of videos about how to actually solve those. So I've had my fair share of trauma responses, trying to fucking compensate, shadow work, all this shit. We're going to go fucking deep into that in the next couple of videos. Don't you worry, I'm going to drop game for you fucking mentally ill boys as well. I got you all. Let's fucking get it. Hope this video helps. DM me if you need help. Like this video, subscribe. We're going to fucking take over, boys. We're here for the long run.